Hey everyone, it's Stephanie and you are tuned into the review of Married at First Sight, Happily Ever After, Season 1, Episode 4. So, last night's episode was pretty good. Obviously I'll kick it off with Shawniece and Jephte. They kind of ended the episode in a somewhat of a scary way. She went into labor 1 month early. So initially she had gone to the hospital earlier thinking that she was leaking amniotic fluid, but it wasn't. And she had been in pain and she was really tired, and they were kind of trying to get ready for this baby, and they kept alluding to not being ready. So I just had this feeling that, oh my goodness, it might happen before they are actually ready. And that actually happened. It was kind of anxiety filled to watch them get to the hospital, and Jephthe's kind of trying to do the best that he can driving under those circumstances, and she's in a lot of pain. And they end the episode with her just kind of walking into the hospital, which she's a champ, because as much pain as she was in, she was able to just kind of walk in there and get to it. So that was a really big deal. I think she has the baby on the next episode. I'm not really sure. That's my assumption. But that was a really big deal, kind of watching them deal with that and, going through that together. And, that's real life. Like, the baby is coming. It's now not, an idea. It's real. I mean, it's been real because she's been pregnant, but I think it's different when you are about to meet them. So, that was pretty interesting to see. Last night's episode required them to engage in this exercise where they kind of talked about the things that they wanted to keep in the marriage. So a lot of people said, spending time together and date night, and really not losing the relationship with the arrival of the baby, because a lot of couples do that and they pour so much into the child that they forget about themselves. And most of these couples are really young couples in terms of how long they've been together. We're talking about 6 months with Bobby and Danielle, almost a year with Jephte and Shawniece, and 2 years with Anthony and Ashley. So these are all young couples. Shawniece and Jephte talked about not wanting to lose date night and spending time together. And they also wrote down stuff that they did want to lose, and they either burned it or shredded it or tore it up. And they talked about, Shawniece not shutting down, which tends to be her go-to in terms of how she deals with things. When she's upset, she shuts down. She doesn't want to talk about things. So that was something that was important for them to discuss, about her wanting, about them wanting to move beyond that and like work through that. So I thought that was good for them, because that could be a really difficult thing. Sometimes people think shutting down is better because, oh, at least I'm not yelling, but it ends up sometimes being worse because now you're not communicating and it's cold, and that's a very frustrating space to be in. So that's really good that she wants to work on that. I don't remember what Jephte put down, but please feel free to comment and remind me. So that's Shawniece and Jephte. Ashley and Anthony, they, of course, talked about date night as well, not wanting to lose that. Anthony talked about, wanting to like maintain just stuff out of the norm. So not even just date night, oh, let's have a nice dinner, but just do something fun, a planned activity or something that's, out of their normal, date night, to keep it fresh and to remind themselves of them too as a couple. So that was really important to him. One of the things that they discussed was Ashley's stubbornness and wanting to get rid of that. And Ashley, the irony in what she says is, she says something along the lines of like wanting to, she knows that she's stubborn and she just has to get in control of her stubbornness. And I literally laughed out loud because I was like, that's ironic. Like, that's part of the problem. The stubbornness stems from the desire to be controlling. So it's funny, but of course, Anthony didn't catch that, and of course she didn't catch that, but that was her thing, and they both agreed that that's something that she needs to work on. My only advice for Ashley is that a lot of things she's working on is for the baby, and it needs to stem from working on them for herself, and then her husband will feel the benefits of that, and then it'll trickle down to the baby. We don't want to get into the habit of doing everything for the baby now, because then they already say that a lot of times when women have children, they shift their complete focus, and that may or may not be true, but they shift their complete focus to the child and not the spouse. So if we're already kicking it off with, well, I'm not going to do this for you, or I'm not going to have patience for you because you're an adult and you should know better, but I'll have patience for the child, it already creates a dynamic that can become very unhealthy very quickly. So I would hope that she just wants to get a hold of that for herself and even for her marriage. Like, let's start there. Like, maybe you don't care that you're stubborn and it is what it is and family and friends have dealt with it for years, but for the benefit of your marriage, work on that, and then it'll trickle down to the baby. So that's Ashley and Anthony. And last but not least, Bobby and Danielle. You know, they kind of are on the same page too with date night and all that. You know, Danielle has been kind of sick the first part of the pregnancy, so their intimacy is lacking. So I think they definitely want to work on other ways to be intimate and working through that time, because, you know, if you're not feeling well, you're not feeling well, but working through that time and finding other ways to do that. One of the things that Bobby wants to get rid of is Danielle's unnecessary spending. And once again, we watch her not have a clue about how she's navigating through this life and through this marriage with without a care of being responsible, especially since they're going down to one income. Like right now they're at 2 incomes, but I don't even think her actions or attitude is translating to the awareness that they're going down to 1 income. And it's just really all about what she wants. They are getting rid of things in the house and getting new things. And yes, you know, Bobby style, I'm not excited about Bobby style either. So that's one. I'm more modern. And so is Danielle. So I get that, but like, let's prioritize. Like, what's really important right now? You want this house, you don't want to work anymore, you want these new, you know, you want this new new modern home, new modern furniture. Like, everything is coming all at once. And we see Bobby do a little pushback with her wanting to get rid of a couch, and he stands there for a while like he's gonna do something, but he doesn't. So we also get to see Bobby lay down again like a doormat. And I know I've been conversing with you guys all week. It will get old. He is gonna snap. But somebody said something really interesting to me. I don't remember who it was, but they said that he's going to hit his wall, he's gonna snap, but he's gonna pick up the pieces and continue to do like what he's been doing, and this is just what it's gonna be. And like, when I read that comment, it kind of resonated with me. I kind of like understood that you're right, because I think that Bobby has got to be in a space where he feels like this is the best he can do, or he's hit the jackpot. Little does he know she hit the jackpot, but he, for some reason, his esteem isn't high enough to demand reciprocity. And if this was the woman on the flip side, I would say that she should demand it too. So it's not a man-woman thing. You know, putting your foot down is not just a man thing, or it's not archaic. Like, it's setting boundaries and requiring, you know, expectations. And you should in a marriage. You can. You know, if this is what you want, especially when you're pouring so much into the other person, communicate it. Like, that's not really doing anything negative. That's a healthy thing, and he's not doing that. But I can see him for the long haul just kind of moseying along and dealing with it. So we watch them as well this week kind of, you know, go through the same thing. No change is really made. It'll be interesting to see their dynamics as she goes along through this pregnancy, as well as them being parents, because there's already a crack in this foundation that appears, you know, or they present as is perfect, but it's not. So that's Bobby and Danielle. We'll continue to see how these couples go. It's pretty cool to watch them in this dynamic, but I enjoy the most that I see from this series is enjoying seeing the experts talking to them about the space that they're in life. So, because that's what I think is the most helpful about it. So that's all that I have. I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, guys. I'm so thankful for you guys, and I really appreciate the support and you guys watching all these reviews. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like, and I will see you next week. Everyone have a wonderful holiday weekend.